Hey everyone, Rarity Dash here, time for another blind commentary. And today we're finally doing more Cinemare Sins. Yeah, I made you wait on this quite a bit, but we're finally going to be continuing with it. Episodes 6 through 10 of Season 2. My thoughts on the episodes this time are as follows. Now, Cutie Pox is one of the worst episodes of Season 2 easily for me. It's a shame too, as the moral is one of my favorites to seem to have learned, and one that the show needed to touch on, I think. The whole don't cheat to get ahead thing. It's hardly about Apple Bloom's guilt or shame or any kind of relatable consequences, though. Instead, nope, the episode is pretty much just Apple Bloom doing silly things that her cutie mark makes her do, and just visual gags and pretty much nothing else. It just gets interminable. It's probably the most needlessly padded episode in the entire series. Which is a shame, because there is some pretty fun stuff like the Big Lebowski reference and some interesting ideas like continuing the relationship between Apple Bloom and Zecora, which was set up in Bridal Gossip. It just refuses to have any plot for most of the episode. I don't think LittleshyFim comments on that kind of thing too much though, so he'll probably be talking about different things. Probably are a lot of animation errors, I would guess, with how hectic it gets, though we'll see. Now, May the Best Pet Win is actually a good episode in my opinion. Excellent song, lots of Rainbow Dash showing why she's such a great character. There are some logical issues though, the big one being Tank reaching Rainbow during the climax. As slow as he is shown to be, how does he reach her and save her as quick as he does? It's odd. I mean, she's already shown riding him toward the finish line by the time the other, much faster pets cross it and tip the rest of the ponies off to the fact that something is amiss. It just is something which always seemed off to me. Then there's Mare Do Well, which, yeah, that's pretty riddled with flaws. I don't even really care to repeat the problems with that episode. They've been repeated too many times already. Basically, it all boils down to everyone in the episode just being kind of awful. Also, there's that precarious cliff road which leads nowhere, which is kind of a weird thing. Now, I don't actually hate Mare Do Well as much as most people seem to. And there are at least a lot of fun parts in it. The entire sequence where Rainbow is desperate is hilarious to me, especially the exchange with Amethyst. But, yeah, it's definitely an episode which has a big share of problems. Sweet and Elite is a really good episode. Not that Rarity has any less than good episodes. Another great song and lots of fun stuff. Just from the collection of images I have on my computer featuring Rarity and Rainbow, I do know that there is an animation error at the point where Rainbow gets into Rarity's face. She appears to have only one wing there. Other than that, I can't think of much in the way of sins, but I'm probably just blinded to him. I'm sure that he'll find plenty. Finally, there's Secret of My Success, another really good episode. What I really hope he doesn't get into is misinterpreting Rarity's actions, as a lot of people seem to do that with the whole Ruby thing. She's not intentionally manipulating Spike into giving her the Ruby. She's just enamored with it and finds it hard to resist. She is surprised when he does actually give it to her. As for actual sins, there are probably some things. Rarity's cape sure seems to stretch and grow a lot after being torn from her and then soaked in water, which is maybe weird. I don't know though, can't think of too many other logical problems. Though there are probably some. Anyway, that's enough talking, let's get started. Okay. Everything wrong with the Cutie Pox in 3 minutes or less. Spoilers. Duh.
Those cutie marks are fake.
Apple Bloom's right eyelash
Okay.
disappears.
Yeah, I wouldn't have noticed that ever.
Let's all go bowling at Lulu? Lulu? How do you
Yeah,
identify locations
I think it's
anyway?
just the pins and balls.
I can hear Diamond Tears mucking gobbling now.
But there are 3 of us.
You keep telling yourself that, Sweetie Belle.
The bowling
Yeah,
doll.
she's best
Bowling
CMC.
dolls, now available at Toys R Us. We've got a trigger-happy hothead, a pothead, and a child sex offender.
Yeah.
No, for kids!
Apple Bloom
Very
becomes
well,
detached.
very good use of the
Thing.
nostalgia credit there.
Canterlot is missing. At first, Applebloom's sorrow seems warranted, but as time goes on, she comes off as a self-absorbed jerk, refusing to acknowledge her friend's attempts to cheer her up. Applebloom quietly walks into the Everfree Forest, similar to a cat.
I think she's going off to see Zecora from the start.
Scootaloo has been flying since season 2.
I think she's just hovering there.
The word that she could not have possibly known was relevant until later on.
I think she realizes how
flower petals appear out of
Applebloom's
thin air.
holding her tongue in her mouth. Probably has to do something with her tooth.
Twist.
Twist is a sin.
Association to hula hoop, a registered trademark of Whammo. Applebloom's false cutie mark falls off. Derpy confirmed for age-defying time traveler. Cheerly has bipolar disorder. I must go. My people need me.
Celestia is pretty
Don't
weird in
worry,
this episode.
we just happen to have been hiding these upper
deciding
parts all
to
along.
cancel
Properly layered
class.
shadow. Suddenly, the idea of Twilight being a parental figure towards Spike is completely thrown out of whack, and the relationship is officially creepy. The cutie marks are layered improperly. Applejack.exe has stopped responding. AJ is woken up during the night, they go to Twilight's house for help, and less than 2 minutes later it appears to be the middle of the day. This shoe is shaped unlike any hoof ever seen.
Yeah! That's not very hoof-like. At all.
Never seen anything like it.
Oh, Twilight, Hasbro is just getting started.
Hay fever, the trots.
The Trot is officially the best pony pun of all time.
That is a
Derpy
pretty good
once
one.
again confirmed for age-defying time traveler.
My sister's flaking it fancy.
That's xenophobic.
We gotta find some pony to mix up a cure.
Are you deaf, Applejack? Twilight just said there was no known cure.
There's no known cure.
Oh, look what else was hiding up Snips and Snail's rear. Non-regulation continuity-defying chessboard. How is it that every pony except for Twilight knew what Cutie Pox is? Why would these Pegasi run as a mob when they can fly?
Now some pony tell the truth.
Oh, if only this episode aired after the last roundup, I would have so much to say right about now. Applejack, what happened to your hat? Oh, there it is. These levitating buildings.
I didn't earn my cutie mark. They're all fake.
Wasn't that made obvious after it was determined that Cutie Pox was the cause?
Yeah, it kind of
Nuclear
was.
fallout is canon.
Fallout Equestria there.
Growing up into a better you.
So that's what that feels like.
Scootaloo's voice comes from Applebloom's mouth.
Yeah, that one had its fair amount of sins.
The trots.
Okay. Oh yeah. Little stinger. That ball. May the best pet win.
Listen, turtle. Tortoise. Whatever.
Lens flare. Neck arms. It was just a dream cliche. Theme. The rarity has been doubled. Pinky's leg
good
becomes
thing.
detached. Why would some pony sleep in a tree branch when they can sleep on a cloud?
Rainbow doesn't make
Angel is
sense.
layered above Fluttershy's wing.
Not the first time she did that either.
Bullets are canon.
Oopsie, have you even met me?
Do you want to tell her or should I? Fluttershy's wings glitch and desynchronize twice within just a few seconds. Fluttershy singing about dark and mysterious bats is the ultimate foreshadowing.
Indeed it is.
That wasn't flying. That was falling with style.
Yes it was, Woody.
What are you doing? You're not a chicken.
Derpy.
Careful, Dash. You dropped the title. All but a couple stray buildings have vanished from Ponyville. Either that or Town Hall was relocated to the middle of nowhere. These are the
Always a
candidates to be
possibility.
Dash's pet? I guess Scootaloo didn't get the memo.
Bring that thing here.
That's racist. We interrupt My Little Pony to bring you Tron. Improperly layered duck.
Style.
Dash always dresses in style.
Apparently feathers have little to do with flight. Random line that appears for just a single frame. Let me know if these sins are getting too intense for you guys. The hummingbird skips backward in time for a moment. This is the world's most useless stool. Just a
That is an
reminder
interesting
this is, in fact, a
sweater for
Canadian
Rainbow to
animation.
wear.
Also, 3 colored rocks would imply that there's 3 teams playing, when in fact 2 teams is standard for curling matches. The bat's animation loops for a couple frames too long. An owl would experience neck damage at around 270 degrees. This eagle is begging for a cease and desist. Theme breaks the fourth wall. Guillotines are canon.
Go home.
Yeah, I guess they are now. It's
Ashley
interesting.
Ball's first brony encounter.
Pause for dramatic effect.
Dash, you're not supposed to read the text in brackets. 13 minutes, 39 seconds. What is every pony looking at? We interrupt My Little Pony to bring you Apocalypse Now. 1-800-Celestia. Call now and have your most imperative prayers answered. Only 5-bit space fee plus 2 bits per minute. This falcon disappears, then randomly reappears. Spike needs an adult.
Looks like
bad
it.
for the falcon. The only reason none of the racers stopped to help Dash is because she pushed them so hard into thinking that winning was all that mattered. Plus, they pass her before the avalanche pins her down, so it's not their fault for not noticing. AJ can be heard talking even though her animation depicts laughter.
Like a tank.
War machines confirmed for canon yet again. It's
Indeed.
magic. Don't question it.
You would never qualify to be my pet. A flying squirrel.
And Mare Do Well.
Mare Do Well!
This should be good.
They have to meet in secret for fear of their unlicensed merchandise being discovered by Hasbro. The Rainbow Dash fan club doesn't recognize the voice of Rainbow Dash. Neon Dash. Fake wings have more depth than real wings.
Neon Dash.
That's right, kids. Smoking is cool. How deep is this well? How did the filly survive such a fall? Let me
Very
get this
good question
straight. This
there.
giant crowd was just standing around listening to the filly cry for help? There's a rope right here, and at least one Pegasus in the crowd. Useless background pony. Lens flare. Major glitches with Dash's mane. Spike randomly writes the last 2 words of Dash's sentence. Taken out of context, Spike's writings appear to be that of a PTSD victim. Wasn't Rainbow Dash always rather arrogant? It's the rest of the main 6 that seem to take a jealous and needlessly vengeful turn.
Immortalized as my friend. Immortal what?
Rainbow Dash, you know big words give Applejack a headache,
Someday, I want to be just like you.
said the Earth Pony to the Pegasus. Rainbow Dash would have missed regardless of Mare Do Well's interception. If anything, she was spared the shame of failing to save some pony's life. Is Mare Do Well a giant, or is this mountain a cardboard cutout? Also, lens flare. Is it a coincidence that the mayor gives Mare Do Well a name that matches her costume insignia, or is she in on it too? Cliched or not,
It's possible.
Should have become a jealous supervillain at this point. Imagine how awesome Villain Dash would be.
Yeah, that would be
Rainbow
pretty
Dash
cool.
Disappears. Applejack as Mare Do Well can fly, apparently. Everything about this building was made to fail. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. Speak of conspiracy, why do all these random disasters just happen to occur when Dash is nearby? Could it be
It
that
is
the rest
pretty
of the
contrived.
Rainbows are triggering them just to aid in their veil of deception? This pony comes close to safety, then jumps right back into the fray. Frozen with fear and in need of rescuing cliche. Cross-dimensional piping. Rainbow Dash's development cutie mark is visible here. Backwards wing.
And somehow knows what's gonna happen ahead of time.
How did she come to that conclusion? I mean, sure, she's great at dodging, but Dash phrased it in a way that was far too convenient for the
Yeah.
random mountainside platform. People say Derpy was a mistake, but these animators know exactly what they're doing. This statue's flat head. Dash mimics her toy
never
and
noticed this
loses a
statue.
cutie mark. We aren't supposed to know it yet, but they're doing the same thing they condemned Dash for doing, bragging.
They
Also,
really
every
are.
pony still has their tails, even though they had to chop them off to fit in their costumes. Dash teleports to the other side of the room while Spike simultaneously appears out of thin air.
I don't think she's all that great.
She's great.
Modern news reporting in a nutshell. This sign
Pretty
is
much.
levitating. Where did they store these costumes? Twilight and Applejack only had a minute to get theirs on. Exposition via boastfulness. Pinky's mane clips with her leg.
As your ghostwriter, I've already penned a letter to the princess.
An ending so predictable even Spike saw it coming.
I can think of a
Wrath of Brony viewers. Nice. And explosions. Of course.
3 cheers for Rarity, my new favorite party guest.
This scene became awkward long before the 10th kiss. Theme. Fleur spontaneously urinates like a dog. Fancy Pants' ironic name is ironic. Anyone
Yeah,
get the feeling that
not a lot of
Fleur de Lis was
pants.
thrown in here last minute to emphasize the fact that Fancy Pants isn't asking Rarity out on a date? Then again, isn't he? Blatantly visible
Kind of.
storyboard. Castle guards work for wealthy ponies? That's a conflict of interest if I ever saw one.
Welcome to the Wonderbolt Derby!
After the last argument with her sister, Princess Luna was demoted to race announcer. Isn't this a bit of a safety risk?
It does sound like Luna.
Non-Pegasus race official standing on a cloud. These two weren't in the race a moment ago. Yes, because lying about Dash being a simple trainer is so much better than the truth about how the main six saved the world twice already.
That isn't a hat.
To them, it probably
That's
is.
a natural disaster that somehow landed atop your head.
Rarity never spoke with Applejack again after that day. Rarity undergoes more costume changes in a day.
Wonder if that is about
This
Applejack.
girl could do in a year. These ponies don't understand how an auction works.
They really
Bad
don't.
luck to be on an unchristened boat. I know it's unchristened because Rarity herself does that in a later scene. It's also bad luck for the bottle not to break. Derpy's formal wear. Lying can solve any problem cliché. Cat language for a screw you. Every pony but Twy and Dash seem to be more interested by the interior. Random reused dialogue is random. Rainbow Dash has gotten so good at flying that she can now hover without even flapping her wings.
Balloons are super easy to pack.
But not so easy to clean up apparently, Pinky Litterbug Pie. Now Dash is showing off by flying with
Yep,
all
that's the
her
one I noticed.
This dress is simple and plain, yet this one is somehow fancy and proper. Aside from a couple accessories, they're virtually the same dress.
It's the hat that makes the
Hosts a
difference.
birthday party in Canterlot and doesn't even think to invite her brother, or Spike for that matter. I wonder how that conversation went. Goodbye, Spike. I'm off to celebrate my birthday and you're not invited. The day cannons became canon. Improperly layered cutie mark. Element of generosity can't even spare an evening's worth of time for her friends. The dollar is canon. Fancy Pants starts talking, pauses as Rarity visits her friends, and continues mid-sentence sometime later. You know your friends are out of control when they play tic-tac-toe on your face. Everyone likes to hate Mare Do Well because of the out-of-character behavior, but in this episode they're even more insensitive, only this time towards Rarity.
Egghead.
Not really.
On the other side of the room.
Rarity forgets that she is outdoors.
I'd like to place my order right now.
I think you should get two.
Jet Set is going to need to have a very long talk with his wife. The bellhop and luggage literally phase through the floor.
The Wonderbolt's trainer. Because poor Opal is quite ill. Wouldn't have missed this for the world. So I always dab a little frosting
I
behind
don't know
my
if it's
ears.
really a
I can
sin
never
for her to
back
tell
on
lies.
my
It's part of
check on Opal.
part of the
Is that
writing.
Princess Celestia? Exactly the reason I didn't tell you. The one and only reason.
Yeah.
And this is my wife, upper crust.
I am so sorry about this.
Oh, poor Opal.
I've never seen anything quite so stunning before.
Apparently, this one window provides all of the natural light in this room. This book magically jumps back onto the shelf.
And it's almost ripe.
Rocks don't ripen. Then again, fire-breathing dragons don't live with magical unicorns and
Yeah, they really don't.
thing.
Must be at least 20 carats.
Depending on the density, a 20-carat gem could be worn as a ring. In other words, ponies might only be the size of a human palm. A couple books appear to have been left uncolored.
Want to be ahead of the game.
Darn it, Rarity. Element of generosity takes advantage of a crush to get what she wants.
No,
Spike
as
hasn't
I already
appeared out of thin
said.
air to wish me a happy birthday ever in my life. Spike has two bodies. A balloon pops and unfazed Rarity doesn't even blink. Pinky never touches AJ, yet she's
Just
somehow
used to
thrown by
balloons
an
popping
invisible
around
force of
Pinky, I
impact.
think.
Blah blah blah, sapphire shores, blah blah blah, cupcakes joke. Shirley just happens to have this random hat with her. Derpy lives in the well.
Yeah, I don't
question
know
the
if,
canon. This house shouldn't be layered above this one.
Shirley was gonna wear that hat.
Spike already owns
Can't
this
really
ball.
see it.
Junebug's right sclera changes color for a moment. Twilight levitates this globe without using her horn. It's not the first time, but any appearance of a hand in Equestria is worthy of a sin.
Yeah.
Spike somehow got his claws on an element of harmony and right. Pony science believes that the throat is connected to the heart. A dog's brain is larger than that of a pony. An educated pony like Twilight keeps a dragon around the house without even being aware of a principal fact regarding a dragon's aging. If you ask me,
They don't
she's
know
not
anything
so
about
much
dragons,
Celestia's
it's established in
protege,
Dragon
she is
Quest.
her test subject. Sorry, Scootaloo, that's what happens when you leave things by the side of the road.
Sakura
Some
knows
pony
things.
must have picked it up and given it to Spike as a present. This door shouldn't open on a single hinge. In order to prevent Spike from stealing something, Twilight steals something. Although it's not exactly news to anyone, it's made clear in these couple shots that the library is indeed bigger on the inside.
Now who in Ponyville would steal my apples?
Perhaps someone desperate to find a way to write you into this story? This short rope somehow becomes much longer. Thank goodness Rainbow Dash just happened to be flying by that very spot in that very instant. Here we see at least 5 separate tree branches, but from this angle there's only 3.
That sounded like Pinkie Pie.
There's no way Pinkie could be heard screaming all the way from Fluttershy's cottage. At this angle, Rarity should have no problem seeing Spike in the mirror. Also, obligatory King Kong reference sin.
Nugget!
Lens flare. Flashback contains spoken words not previously spoken.
He remembers it differently.
After grabbing Fluttershy, revealing secrets just in case we don't make it cliche. The physics involved here would be far more harmful than if they had just hit the ground. Dear Princess Celestia, today I learned that even if I go on a rampage and destroy the town, my friends will approve and reward because it's not my fault I was born a greedy and destructive beast.
Re-shelving day.
Who's the brave one?
Oh. Okay. Yeah, this is still pretty fun. I do think we're still getting on occasion a bit too much opinion for this sort of thing. It doesn't feel right when he goes into the personal opinion too much. It should be about problems with logic and animation errors, and stuff like that. Making judgments about the character's actions and motivations, it's better saved for the more typical sort of analysis videos, I'd say. It especially looks bad when he's so inconsistent with it. It's a sin for Rarity to simply tell a lie now? Really? If you're going to do that, why not count it as a sin every time a pony does something they shouldn't do as part of the plot? And the thing with the Ruby, I really, as I said, just hate that argument. Almost irks me as much as people not getting the dog and pony show thing. Pay attention. She does not expect Spike to give it to her. There is surprise on her face and in her voice when she does get it. She is very much prepared to let Spike keep it, even if the thought of it pains her quite visibly. Other than that, not really a lot to say. The series is what I've come to expect, amusing and funny and pretty enjoyable overall. I'll try and do more when I can. Hope you liked the commentary. Let me know if you did, and see you in the next one.